Hi everyone, I'm Seja. I'm the sports editor for the online platform, and I'm joined today with Brooks Olson. For context, he is a senior who has been on the boys varsity soccer team for 4 years now. Started as a freshman, it's now his senior year, and he is captain of the team. Nice to have you with me, Brooks.
Thank you.
So just starting off, what are two of your favorite memories from your time on varsity soccer?
That is a good question. I think that one of my favorite memories is at ISST's or my freshman year. So 3 years ago, it was like the match for third place. We had just come off of losing in the semifinal, which was pretty rough, and for a lot of the team, it was going to be their last game. And so before, we always do a huddle, and usually it'd be like talking over tactics. And what we all just agreed on was that we should just try and enjoy this game because it's the last time that we'll all be able to play together as one group. The group will never have the exact same players again. And so we all just wanted to enjoy it. And we went out and we won that game. And we probably played our best game of football all because we weren't focused on like sticking to certain things. We just wanted to enjoy it and like actually spend time playing together like for fun and not taking it so serious. And we ended up getting the result. And so that was actually super good. And so we ended up coming third, which was amazing. And then I think another one would probably be we did a team dinner when I was a sophomore, and we do them every year. But this one was like hilarious. We went to Nando's, and so the whole team went, and yeah, as I said, I think I was a sophomore, and like everyone was just like messing around, like cracking the funniest jokes, and we were all just like having a good time together. Um, and so that was just a good time, and it's interesting to see like when the group actually gets close, because lots of times there'll be like some freshmen on the team and then some seniors, and obviously you don't really know each other well, um, and so that can kind of impact like the team dynamics. But like for this particular group, everyone was super close, and so it was just a lot of fun to all be together.
Yeah, that's super cool, and that's also awesome that your ISST results and it wasn't like a super pressured environment, and then you guys got to all just kind of have a fun final game. My other question was, how was it being on the team as a freshman versus how it is now as a senior? Do you feel like you've grown as like a leader or as a player, or kind of what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. The mentality is kind of different because when you go into it as a freshman, I was super nervous, like for tryouts and even being on the team, and you're always kind of nervous, like not to make a mistake and make sure you're doing all the right things. And so I think in that aspect, like I wasn't fully not able to express myself because we everyone was super close and super friendly, but I was just afraid to like do something wrong. And the team obviously helped a lot, like with making all the younger players on the team feel welcome. But now I think that I'm trying to do the sort of thing that the older kids on the team helped me do when I was younger, like encouraging them to try new things and not be so pressed about like just making the right decisions and not making any mistakes because that's kind of how you grow. Um, and so I guess like the biggest thing is trying to take how the older players on the team when I was a freshman helped me to try and do that and help the younger players now.
Yeah, and this is kind of you kind of touched on this in your last answer, but how would you characterize your captain style? I know we mentioned you're the captain of the team this year. How would you characterize your style, and what do you think is the best part of being captain?
I think that like people who know me pretty well know that I'm a pretty direct person. I'm not gonna beat around the bush when I'm trying to explain something or tell you something. I kind of feel like it's more important to tell someone how it is rather than try and let them down easy. And I think there are certain situations where maybe it's a little bit better to not be as direct. But I think that for me being the captain or one of the captains, one of the three captains on the team, it's super important to kind of be there to support the players, but also at the same time, you kind of have to tell them what they need to know. And I think that in lots of cases, like our team's starting to play some really good football now. And so a huge thing is that I felt like we kind of needed that extra, like the whole team needs that extra push sometimes. Um, And so to whether I'm addressing the whole team or talking to individual players, like everyone can improve, and that's definitely myself included. So I think sometimes just being direct and telling people how it is, like if they're taking too long on the ball or anything like that, that it's good to actually tell them what they can do better, in that sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. And um, transitioning a little bit, could you walk us through your season this year? How has it been? How have you guys been performing? And just kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of been a little bit different. I feel like we haven't had as many games because we used to play. Obviously, I think the biggest thing is that we haven't been able to go away to other countries or host other teams here, because that's a huge aspect, and that's what actually I felt made it super fun. So it's really unfortunate that we haven't been able to do that the past 2 years now. But I think that our team's been playing really well. Cobham's our biggest opponent, definitely. And 2 weeks ago, 2 matches ago, we beat them, and that was actually the first time in my career on the varsity team that we've been able to beat Cobham, which is just outstanding. So we're
Congratulations.
starting to thank you. We're starting to really turn up. Um, and I think again, something just started to click for us. And I think that we were playing well before, but there's something now. I don't know if it's because the team's closer or if just all that training is paying off, but we're just starting to play a lot more smoothly. So yeah, so everything's going pretty well.
My other question is a little more
Yeah.
specific. I know you're center back, right? Or are you center back? Just to clarify.
Yeah.
So
Center
what
back and full back. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So what is your favorite thing about, being the back, playing center back?
I think that so I didn't start as a center back on the team. For my freshman and sophomore year, I played fullback, either left or right back. I kind of switched off, as fullbacks usually do. But now that I'm kind of older, and I think it was because I wasn't always the largest kid on the team. So not that that has a massive thing to play, but just because there are more experienced players that could have played center back than me. Um, but I think that's something that I really enjoy, is that I can kind of see the whole game. And when you're playing fullback or any other position, you kind of have like you're doing a lot of running, and like you don't know what you're not always able to see the full pitch if you have players behind you or players to the side. But I think at center back you can kind of see the entire pitch. And so that kind of makes it easier to actually give instructions to other people and analyze like what we're doing well, or if there's gaps between players or something like that. And so I think it's fun, but it's also helpful to be able to be in that position where I can actually see what's going on, and then from there adjust and do other things to help the team.
Yeah, and since your senior season, I was wondering if you have any intentions or future plans to play soccer after you leave ASL.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely intend on continuing to play after high school. And so I'm gonna try and walk on with whatever school I go to, for university, but or play club, like whichever works out. But I think I really do want to keep playing, because obviously, like, I love the sport. I've been playing since I don't even know how old. And so I think if I stopped playing, I'd be missing out on a lot of fun in my life. And so I definitely want to continue. I don't know if I have any specific plans other than just continuing to play. But yeah.
Yeah, and lastly, what will you miss most about being on the ASL boys varsity soccer team?
Um, I think that probably the biggest thing that I'm gonna miss is just being a part of a group of people that you wouldn't normally get in school. And I think it's so unique, as like with all sports teams in high school, that you can get a mixture of kids that are freshmen and like 14 years old and completely new to the high school, or maybe even new to the school. And then you could have a kid like me who has been at ASL for 13 years now, and that like knows kind of the ins and outs of the entire school. And you normally wouldn't get that, because there are some kids on the team that I definitely wouldn't have ever interacted with if it wasn't for football. So I think having that actual team where you can come together as different people and share something that you love is definitely going to be something that I'm going to miss.
Yeah, well, fantastic. Do you have anything else to add?
No, come watch our games at Cannons.